This is a verified story that I heard over from Rabbi Cheskel Ozer in Eretz Yisrael. There's a moshava in Zichron Yaakov. And like many communities, there's a lot of Bate Knesiot. And there's a small shul there, a Bet Knesset, that unfortunately a lot of times in the winter times, especially when people are working middle of the day, they were not so easily able to find a minyan. And the shul had a gabbai, and every day almost he had to go out and search for Jews to come and make a minyan for Mincha and Arvit. And on one such day, the gabbai was standing outside and he can't find Kein Ish, there's nobody outside. Finally, he finds a delivery boy on a little scooter delivering pizzas. And he asks him, listen, a Jew is a Jew. Can you please come inside and make us a minyan? And the guy says, listen, I'm in the middle of a work day, I'm working, got deliveries to make. And he says, please, just a few minutes until somebody else comes. Usually we get a minyan 20 minutes in. Just come make us a minyan so we can start the mincha prayers. So the guy, dressed like, jeans and earrings he's got in his ear and the long hair and tattoos, and he says, you know what, fine. He comes inside. He sits, and as it happens all the time, 20 minutes in, 3 people show up. So now they have more than a minyan. So the gabbai comes to this person and says, listen, thank you so much for your help. We have a minyan now. We have 10 people here. You can leave. The guy says, you know something? It's okay. I'm going to stay. So the gabbai, no one knows what his reasoning was. He says, listen, I told you can leave if some other people come. You could leave. And again, he says, no, I'm okay. It's fine. I'll stay. And the gabbai kind of insists and says, no, I think it's better if you leave. I don't want to keep you. I don't know what it was. The guy felt he doesn't look the part, or maybe I don't know, the way he was dressed. I don't know. Asks him to leave. And the guy gets a little upset and he leaves. That night, the gabbai has a dream. The pizza delivery boy comes to him in a dream and he says to him, I will never leave you alone as long as you live. I'm going to make you suffer. You don't know that when I was sitting in that Bet Knesset, for the first time after God knows how long, I actually had feelings of returning to my roots and starting to observe Judaism again. And because you kicked me out, that's never going to happen. Any children that were going to come from me later, that were going to be God-fearing people, observant Jews, Torah Jews, that were going to be in Batei Knesiot, they'll never be because of you. You kicked me out of a synagogue. You kicked me out of the shul. Because of you, that's never going to happen. I'm never going to leave you alone. The guy wakes up, a nightmare. He's in cold sweat. His wife asks him what's going on. He says, nothing. It's just a dream. Probably because I had a thing with this guy. He goes back to sleep. Again, he has the same dream. The guy says, I'm not going to leave you alone. I won't let you breathe for what you've done to me. So obviously he wakes up the next morning. He's freaking out. He's really scared. He doesn't know what to think. First of all, he thinks to himself, who says this guy is even, he's alive? Why would he be coming to me? So he decides he's going to go to that pizza shop to see if he can see who this guy is. Maybe he wants to apologize to him. So he goes to the pizza shop that this delivery guy was from. Oh boy. And he sees there's signs outside. The door is locked. There's signs for a family sitting, Lo Aleinu, Shiva. And he reads the sign. It happened to be that the delivery guy was the son of the owner of the pizza shop, and he had been hit with a car. After he had come out of the shul, he was making his deliveries, a car hits him, and you should never know these things. He passes away. Now he's besides himself. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to think. This is crazy. The guy passed away and he kicked him out of a shul. And he's upset at him. He comes to him in a dream. He doesn't know what to do. He goes to his Rav and he tells his Rav what happened. And the Rav says, listen, this is, above my pay grade, as they say. This is something that only Rav Ovadia Yosef can help you with. Rav Ovadia Yosef Zatzal, who was the chief rabbi of Israel, it's a Sephardic chief rabbi. And at that time, he was alive. So he says, how am I going to get in with Rav Ovadia? How is he going to see me? So he says, you got to try. He's the only one who could help you. He goes there and he tries to get in and they tell him, listen, Rav Ovadia, at that time, this is probably anywhere between 15 to 20 years ago, where Rav Ovadia was already, very fragile, didn't really meet people that much. He just spent his days learning Torah. And they tell him, listen, he's not meeting anybody. He says, please, I'm desperate. It was like a life and death situation for him. Then he sits on the stairs, cries, and they go, listen, wait here, maybe he'll see you. Finally, they say, okay, the Rav has agreed to meet you. He goes inside, tells Rav Ovadia exactly what happened. And Rav Ovadia's impression changes all of a sudden and says, so what do you want me to do for you? You kicked a Jew out of a Bet Knesset? When he wanted to sit there, what was it to you? Why would you do that? How am I supposed to help you? You come for me to help? How am I supposed to help you when you kicked a Jew out of a Bet Knesset? It was obviously little upset at that situation. And the guy says, I don't know what to do. He says, I can't help you. The guy gets up to leave, and Rav Ovadia motions to him and says, listen, sit. I'm learning here in my study. You sit down and just wait. Let me see if I can come up with a solution for you. All right. So he sits there, half an hour. And those people that knew anything about Rav Ovadia Yosef was that when he would start learning, it was like he was in a different world. He wouldn't even realize anyone's around him. So the guy starts thinking like, maybe he forgot I'm here. An hour already, I'm sitting here, an hour and a half, 2 hours. He gets so tired, he falls asleep. As he falls asleep, he has the dream again. And the guy comes to him even angrier. He says, you think I don't know you came to Rav Ovadia? You think Chacham Ovadia is going to help you? I'm not going to let anyone help you for what you did to me. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Chacham Ovadia enters the dream. And he says, Habibi, why are you doing this to this man? All right, he made a mistake. He didn't know he's kicking you out and anything's going to happen. Forgive him. He says, no, I will not forgive him as long as he lives for what he did to me. You don't understand. Rav Ovadia says, what will it take for you, for your neshama to have comfort and have an aliyah, be raised in Shamayim, for this guy, for you to leave him alone? He says, I don't know. Rav Ovadia says, all right, listen, how about this? How about if this guy starts to learn Torah, Lilui Nishmatcha, to uplift your neshama 4 hours a day in your name? How about that? Will that make you happy? Will you leave him alone then? And the guy says, yeah, that would make me happy. So Rav Ovadia in the dream looks at the guy, to the Gabbai, and says, you agree? 4 hours a day. And he says seemingly, okay, yeah. Boom. And he wakes up. As soon as he wakes up, Rav Ovadia looks at him and says, it's a deal, right? You agree. And he couldn't understand. He couldn't believe it. And he says, Chacham, I don't know. 4 hours a day is a long time. How am I going to do? He says, you made a deal. I made a deal with him. He's going to leave you alone. You have to learn Torah for his neshama, who could have reached the heights in this world. And because of you, now he's having a difficult time. Now it's your chance to help yourself and help him. And he makes a deal to learn 4 hours a day. Rabotai, it's incredible. Two things. Number one, what part of the world Rav Ovadia lived in? He was such a holy person that was able to do certain things that you couldn't even imagine. And number two, the koach of Torah, the merit of learning Torah, and how much in the other realms it matters. 1 second, 1 hour, 1 minute of Torah changes worlds. We should take this as a lesson not to waste a single moment of our lives when we're able to do Torah and mitzvot. Take that opportunity and understand how much aliyah it has, how much uplift it has for us, and even those that are no longer with us. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.